Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the program today, problem gaming and how high do gas prices have to go before it starts to affect our tourism economy. We have two of the commissioners Governor Gwynn appointed to study problem gaming, Chief Financial Officer for Stations Casinos Glenn Christenson and well-respected gaming expert Bill Eadington. And on the Power Pundit panel today, Deidre Pike, Bill Brainard and Ernie Adler. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
Corporations moving to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center require reliable power, fiber optic communication, and clean water sources. And yet, there's another amenity we're very proud of here at TRI, rail service. So far, we've built over 2 miles of railroad track, and another 3.6 is under construction. When companies need to transport freight, we're going to help them move it quickly and efficiently. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
As an employer, did you know you can be held liable for negligent hiring? A background screening by Employer Links can uncover criminal records, like alcohol and drug convictions. It can verify the applicant's education, driving records, and professional licenses. Employer Links can check civil records, registered sex offender records, and Social Security fraud. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
You bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
This satellite interview is sponsored by Scott Craigie and Alris Consulting. And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are joined here in the studio by Bill Eadington. He's with the Institute for the Study of Gambling and Commercial Gaming at the University of Nevada. And by satellite, we're joined by Glenn Christenson, who is the Chief Financial Officer for Stations Casinos Incorporated. Welcome to the program, both of you gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The governor created an advisory committee on problem gaming. Glenn, what is the extent of the problem at this point as you see it?
Well, it's really hard to determine. There's been a number of prevalence studies. I think the one that I have the most respect for is done by Dr. Schaefer out of the University of at Harvard. But I've seen a number of local ones as well. The range is probably somewhere between 1% to as high as 7 or 8%. Ultimately, I'm not sure that that's an argument worth having. I think that's a lot of wasted energy. There are a number of people who in our community have been disadvantaged by gaming, and I think since all of us have benefited by gaming in our community, that we should help those folks.
Okay, how do you recognize the problem?
Well, I think ultimately that's a personal responsibility. There are a number of different ways and different signs that you have some challenges as far as gaming, but I think it's the individual's responsibility to recognize those things and come forward for help.
Okay, but you said as an industry it's incumbent upon you to take care of these folks. How would you do that?
Well, I'm not sure that the industry necessarily has a responsibility to specifically get involved with the health treatment of individuals. I think our responsibility is to help develop resources for those folks to get the proper medical treatment by certified, recognized health professionals.
Okay, Bill, what's your take on this?
Well, this is an issue that's become increasingly important throughout the world, where legal casino industries in particular have become well established and well respected. And problem gambling has been around as long as gambling has been around. There are some people who just have trouble coping with the environment and controlling their spending impulses within a casino environment. I think this is a very good move for the state of Nevada. Nevada's a little late in coming to this issue in comparison to other jurisdictions, but I think it's one where we can take a very reasoned and careful approach and hopefully be effective in addressing problem gambling as it exists within our communities.
I want to play the anti-devil's advocate here. There are people who are going to have problems doing anything. I mean, they are going to be compulsive people. Why is it the industry's responsibility to do anything?
Well, you have to note that gambling is different than a lot of other activities. And this is why it's been illegal in almost all jurisdictions for almost all of history until about the last 50 years, where we've seen this phenomenal legalization effort in many parts of the world. I think it's very wise on the industry's part to understand the issues around problem gambling, because it is the one thing that stands between the gaming industry and full legitimacy.
Well, it's interesting because it's not like before gaming was legalized in 1936 there wasn't gaming in this country, and even prior to gaming being legalized across the country 25 years ago, or not 25 years ago, but in Atlantic City and then moving across the country, the gaming was a huge industry.
Yeah, well,
just in the legal.
Sam, this may be a little bit different situation here in Nevada, because everyone that lives in Nevada benefits by having gaming in our community. Many of us work in the gaming industry. Many of us work for companies and institutions that provide goods and services to the gaming industry. And as a minimum, all of us benefit by having our taxes subsidized by the gaming industry. Gaming accounts for roughly 70% of the general fund in our state. So I think it's a little bit different. Unfortunately, there are some percentage of people who are disadvantaged by this activity, and I think that we should try and help them because we've benefited from that activity.
What do you think about moving ATMs onto the casino floor and internet gaming? Are these not ways that would hurt somebody who has a problem with gaming?
Well, you're in a situation where, depending on which statistics you believe, somewhere between 90 and 99% of the people can gamble responsibly, and should they be disadvantaged because of that small percentage that can't? I guess you could make the same comment about people who use credit cards at shopping centers and so forth. Unfortunately, some people can't use them responsibly. So ultimately, I think it comes back to, as I said originally, this is an individual situation. People need to take responsibility for their actions, but I don't see a problem with having ATMs on the floor. As far as internet gambling, I say that's pretty much the same thing. As a country, we've currently taken the posture that that's not something that is acceptable. At some point in time, it may be.
And it's interesting because this has now become a huge multi-billion-dollar industry around the world, and unfortunately Nevada's properties are not able to take advantage of this. Bill, let me ask you this. What do you see happening next for the committee that the governor has put together that you guys are both members of?
Well, we're going to have our first meeting on Thursday, and I think this will set the tone. And there are going to be resources to be allocated. I think there are some questions as to what approach we take. Do we subsidize or sponsor research that gives us greater insight into problem gambling issues within Nevada? Do we look at public service announcement opportunities, education opportunities? This is an issue which we still do not have a very good fundamental understanding of, and the research that Howard Schaefer at Harvard has done and others have done is all very recent, so we're brand new into the field. And I think the committee is probably going to begin by looking at what is happening in other jurisdictions, what is working, and how should resources be carefully and efficiently allocated.
Okay, one last thing, Glenn. Is this also in part to head off any federal legislation against the casino industry? Does this help?
I don't know whether it helps or not. That isn't something that really has been a discussion, at least with the industry folks that I know. I think it's more about being responsible. There's a number of industries that have done a great job of addressing issues with respect to their industry. There's a number that haven't done so well, and I think we want to be leaders as it relates to addressing problem gambling.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back with much more on Nevada Newsmakers right after this timeout.
For a videotape copy of any Nevada Newsmakers program, call 775-857-2244. The tapes are $20 each, including shipping.
Since its creation more than a decade ago, the Southern Nevada Water Authority has focused on 3 goals: preserving water quality, improving water conservation in Southern Nevada, and meeting the community's current and future water needs. Through thoughtful planning, responsible management, and collaboration, it's succeeding. As we move into the 21st century, the authority continues to embrace sustainable water development and efficient water use. That's our promise to Nevada.
Happy Hour at the Peppermill.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, visit nma.org. The National Mining Association.
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we're back, and we're talking with Glenn Christenson, who is the Chief Financial Officer for Stations Casinos, and Bill Eadington, Professor of Economics and Director of the Institute for the Study of Gambling and Commercial Gaming at the University of Nevada. Glenn, with gasoline prices at $3 at this point, where's the tipping point where it starts to affect the gaming industry in Nevada?
You know, that's a great question. You know, our business here is primarily in the local market. So far, we haven't seen much of an impact, or at least the impact we've seen has been pretty nominal. We recently announced that we would be at the upper end of our guidance for the quarter, so so far so good. Obviously, there's some impact, but whatever it is, it hasn't been meaningful thus far.
But one of the things that is going to affect your business is that if business on the Strip, for example, is down, then that would affect your locals' abilities to come and spend money with you, would it not?
To some extent, I think the operators in the Strip are going to ensure that the rooms are full, and as long as the rooms are full, the employees who are our primary customers will still be there.
Okay, Bill, I'm going to throw the question to you. Do you think there's a tipping point in the price of gas?
Well, ultimately there has to be, but so far we don't see a lot of signs of it, certainly in Southern Nevada, which is having a very, very strong year. Northern Nevada is being affected more by what's happened in California Indian gaming, and so it's doing okay in spite of that competition.
Glenn, I'm going to get you involved in a discussion that I had about 2 years ago with Bill on this program, where you were at the time putting out pretty much of a doom and gloom philosophy in terms of Reno's ability to continue as a gaming market and be successful into the future. And I put up the point at the time that I thought the expansion of Indian gaming in California would actually grow the market. And all of a sudden, it looks like we're seeing a rebirth in Reno, and certainly with Stations Casinos coming into the market, even though they are primarily a locals casino, but they plan on building probably somewhere in the order of 1,000 rooms between 2 properties. What are your thoughts on what's changed from then to now?
Well, I think the fundamentals are still there. The tourism sector of Reno's casino industry is still relatively weak, and it's going to continue to get competed against both from Las Vegas and Northern California.
You know, but I have to come back and say that Bill Paganelli, announcing a big expansion for the Peppermill, said exactly the opposite just last week, that they're putting up, what, another 1,200 rooms?
Well, if you look at the numbers from the year 2000 to present, Reno has lost 15% of its gaming revenue. That's fairly consistent downward erosion in that revenue base. the locals markets become much more important, and I think this is one of the attractions for Station as well as for Peppermill, and for that matter for other proposed casinos in the area. The Reno economy is booming, but it's not booming because of gaming. It's booming because we have a very strong foundation, and California is pushing a lot of businesses and new residents this way.
Glenn, one of the things that I've complained about for years is that the Reno market hasn't gone after a 1.7 million person market in southern Nevada when it's 113 degrees in Las Vegas and you can't play golf after the sun comes up. Why wouldn't we be trying to attract people up here? Is that part of your plans when you build your property in northern Nevada?
Well, it's certainly something that we would address as we get up there, but I'll tell you, we think the Reno market is a great market, and we're really looking forward to it. You know, Bill's right, and I think as you look at this market over the last several years, you've seen kind of flat to down market for some time now. But I think the size of a market is really dictated by the quality of the projects that are in there. One thing you haven't seen in the gaming industry in Reno has been significant investment up there. We're very excited about coming to town. We're going to build a quality project there that will have very much a regional draw. You've already seen some of the response to that with the Peppermill announcing that they want to come out with another $250,000 project. It may stimulate more investment in that market over time. The example that I use frequently with investors is Atlantic City. For several years they had kind of a flat to down market. The Borgata was built, and that captured a whole new group of people coming to that market. It also stimulated more investment. I expect to see something similar in Reno.
And we do too, and we're glad to have you coming up here. Glenn Christenson, thank you so much for taking out the time. Bill Eadington, we'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This satellite interview is sponsored by Scott Craigie and Alris Consulting.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, just 10 minutes east of Sparks. We're proud that Walmart and other Fortune 500 companies have chosen Tahoe Reno Industrial Center to relocate their businesses. We have sites from under 5 acres to well over 500 acres, and with all of the amenities that every successful corporation requires. Welcome to the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the largest industrial park in the world, and we're building economic prosperity for Nevadans.
The Nevada Beer Wholesalers encourages the responsible consumption of beer. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association are sponsors and participants in many community-based efforts such as school education programs, safe ride home, recycling programs, alcohol-free after-prom and graduation parties, safe voting campaigns, and designated driver programs. They are family-owned businesses employing 2,000 Nevadans. They also collect and pay the state excise tax. The Nevada Beer Wholesalers Association, delivering more than just beer.
My family started this business 27 years ago.
We work hard to serve our customers and our community.
But it's getting harder and harder to keep the doors open.
For example, our workers' comp is going through the roof. Isn't anyone on my side anymore?
The Retail Association of Nevada is. If you're a small business owner, we can cut your workers' comp by up to 50%, lobby for your interests, and keep you informed. Put us to work today.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we welcome our Power Pundit panel today. We're joined by Bill Brainard, who bills himself as a community activist, and he certainly is. Deidre Pike with Reno News and Review, a fine publication, and Ernie Adler, former Assemblyman. Okay, Deidre, I got to start with you here. I just wanted to get your take on Dee McGuinn's remarks concerning Dawn Gibbons and whether she should be running for Congress or whether she should be the First Lady. What were your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a silly discussion.
Why?
Completely a hypothetical situation, first of all. And if Dawn, who I like very much, should happen to become a congresswoman, I think she would make a great First Lady as well. I hope it doesn't come to that. Dawn, congresswoman, yes. Jim Gibbons, governor, no.
Bill, you got some thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, the first part, Dawn, yes. The second part, I happen to be supporting Jim Gibbons, and I think he'll make an excellent governor. He's had all, and he'll have all of the relationships that he developed in Congress to help the state of Nevada, as will his wife. We'll have a joint thing. She, will be important. By the way, she didn't start as a freshman. She's already got Jim's contacts when she moves back there. And so the state of Nevada will profit greatly by having the two of them. And frankly, as far as the First Lady thing, that's First Lady can make up whatever job she wants. She can have no job, some job, a larger job. And any woman out there who knows how to multitask, or any working woman out there who is holding down 1 or 2 or 3 jobs, taking care of families and whatever, probably is somewhat offended by the remarks made with regard to women can't hold down 2 things.
Ernie, you want to hold forward?
Well, I think they can do anything they want, and I don't think it's for me to prejudge what they want to do as a family.
I know I don't do it in my house because my wife, as I mentioned yesterday, would murder me. So, okay.
Yeah, that's the same way my house operates.
Let's talk
mine too. And 49 years of marriage, yes.
And Jeanette Damon, in a story in the Reno Gazette-Journal today, said that Chancellor Rogers, who is the owner of Sunbelt Broadcasting, owns the stations upon which this program airs, met with Jim Gibbons, and it appears that Tabor is Chancellor Rogers' big problem as far as Jim Gibbons is concerned, the fact that he might support it. Do you think that's all that there is there, Ernie?
I don't think so. Looking at Chancellor Rogers' earlier comments, I really don't think he likes the idea of Jim being governor. I think that he has a lot of problems with him just from some of the earlier comments I saw.
You know, Deidre, one of the things that strikes me is that everybody's talking about Jim and Don Gibbons, and it seems to me that all they're doing is promoting that they are the 2 strongest people here. And if you don't want to get somebody elected, shouldn't you just shut up and not talk about them, and that way not making the constant...
Dina Titus for governor. Dina. Yeah. Does that work?
Okay, so that's pretty much...
Let's not talk about it anymore.
Okay.
Let's move on.
Marlene Lockhart would say thank you very much. There. Bill, your thought on that? You know, I'm just looking at it from a PR point of view.
Well, I think when you have very little to say, you have to find something to talk about, and that's something to talk about. I frankly think it's not an issue for those people who analyze it, because if they recognize that a First Lady's role is what she wishes to make of it, it doesn't really mean it's a nothing. As far as I'm sorry, I kind of got off the topic. You got me off the topic. Very good. As far as Rogers is concerned, no, based upon his other comments concerning intellect and things of that nature, I agree with that wasn't the only thing that he was talking about. Right. By the way, I think he's wrong, but I've already made that statement.
All right, Deidre, going back to you. So you're writing off Jim Gibson.
Dina Titus said in an interview yesterday or in the past few days, Jim Gibson and Jim Gibbons sound an awful lot alike in more ways than just their name. So I don't know. I don't know that much about him. You want to just raise a
Dina flag here? I guess
I don't know that much about him, and I know a lot more about other people.
You know what's interesting? I was down in Las Vegas last week, and I was talking to 2 people who live in Henderson, and neither of them knew Jim Gibson. They thought the mayor was Oscar Goodman.
Oh, well, how about that?
Which I thought was an incredible irony.
So I think there's a name problem.
Yeah, but I mean, beyond just the 2 names being similar, I think there's a recognition problem perhaps people aren't taking into account. Ernie, Las Vegas Attorney George Chanos applied for the job of Attorney General here. The governor's going to appoint him. What do we know about him?
All we know is he's basically an attorney in private practice who has connections to the Republican Party. I saw his announcement on TV. He seemed to be very articulate. He probably is going to be a good candidate for re-election in that spot. So that's about all we know from now.
It's interesting to me, Bill. It seems like Governor Gwynn is doing a very nice job of laying out who he wants to be in the 3rd Gwynn term.
Well, I think you're right, Sam. Legacies being what they are. Let me just say, as far as the Attorney General that he's appointing, he was also the attorney for the Republican Party here in Nevada. Quite frankly, I was hoping Rue Goodenough, who was also a prior attorney for the Republican Party, would have been his choice, but that's Governor Gwynn's call, not mine. But I don't know anything, as far as I'm concerned, Chanos is fine. I don't know him personally. I should, but I don't. And I'm sure he'll do a fine job.
Okay, we've got about 30 seconds left here. Let's just go down around the table talking about Harriet Mears and your thoughts. Let's start with you, Bill, on...
I don't know anything about her other than she's 60 and single, and Harry Reid apparently well, I don't know whether he likes her. He says, let's not fight with her.
It sounds like she's on the list that Harry Reid says is fine.
Well, Harry Reid is also a no-choice individual, so that doesn't bode well with me. But apparently, I hope she's a moderate. That's what I hope.
The thing I like about her, quite frankly, is she's a trial lawyer. She's actually done real cases, and she didn't graduate from an Ivy League law school. I think that those two things, I think, are extremely refreshing in a nominee. I'm getting really tired of the appellate court judge who went to Harvard getting the nomination.
That seems to be a constant theme. You got about 10 seconds, Deidre.
She's friends with George W. Bush, his former private attorney. I have doubts.
We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, the world's largest industrial park, the resort at Red Hawk, and the Peppermill family of casinos.
South Reno's hotspot for food, fun, and friends is the Tamarack Junction. Enjoy great food 24 hours a day in the Dining Car Restaurant. For a quick bite and the best sandwiches in town, it's the Whistle Stop Deli. And for the best appetizers and menu selections and a large variety of cocktails, beers, and martinis, it's Sully's Sports Bar, Grill, and Nightclub. The Tamarack Junction is your junction for fun. South Virginia and Amati Ranch Parkway.
Island Inkjet is now open on South Meadows Parkway. Island Inkjet will refill your inkjet cartridges in just 1 hour. We have the ink to precisely match over 240 cartridges, saving you up to 60% on the cost of buying a new cartridge. Our work is 100% guaranteed, and contrary to what you may have heard, refills do not void any printer warranties. You don't throw out your car when it runs out of gas. Don't throw out your cartridges. Refill them at Island Inkjet on South Meadows Parkway by Smith's.
Reno's best dining values are all at one casino, the Peppermill. You can enjoy great savings on our popular specials. Peppermill's coffee shop offers daily lunch specials, low-carb dining, and all your favorite comfort foods. You'll find sensational lunch specials featuring Reno's freshest seafood, sushi, pasta, and more at Oceano. And early bird specials at Reno's Premier Steakhouse and Romanza Ristorante Italiano. The best values are at the Peppermill. Where are you dining?
Don't forget you can watch Nevada Newsmakers any time of day or night at NevadaNewsmakers.com with streaming video. On the program tomorrow, our favorite columnist, John L. Smith. Don't miss it. It'll be a great show. We'll see you then.